Hi everyone, I'm Lisa, and in today's video, we're talking about the buyer advisory, which is a document that every buyer is required to sign when making an offer on a home. This advisory is a document you can't afford to ignore. So we'll take a look at how this one document can save you money and a lifetime of headaches on your next purchase. Remember, if you like our videos, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more about the Prescott area. Okay, let's get started. So you're thinking about buying a home in Arizona. That's great. Congratulations. Buying a home can be very rewarding, and it can also be a very stressful time for some buyers. I'm here to arm you with the best resource to help make the process of buying a home in Arizona as smooth as possible. The Buyer Advisory is a standardized document created by the Arizona Association of Realtors, and this 13-page document is hands down the best resource your realtor can pass along to you as a buyer. Unlike some documents you'll be signing when buying a house, the Buyer Advisory is easy to read, and its sole purpose is to help make you an informed buyer and a buyer who has all the tools they need to make an informed decision when it comes time to buying a house. You'll be signing tons of documents, and it's really easy to glaze over all these documents and feel like a zombie when you're signing them. But just be sure you don't do this with the Buyer Advisory. We want you to read the entire Buyer Advisory cover to cover and ask any questions. We're really lucky to have this Buyer Advisory in Arizona, as I guess a lot of states don't have this document. This single document helps us in Arizona to get rid of many additional addenda that we used to have buyers sign. The Buyer Advisory is regularly updated by the folks at the Arizona Association of Realtors to ensure that you as buyers always have the most relevant information. We strongly recommend that you read the Buyer Advisory prior to making an offer on a home, because it could highlight things that you want to consider doing or investigating during your due diligence period. The purchase contract provides for a 10-day inspection period as the default for your due diligence, but it can be negotiated for more days. So, unless otherwise negotiated, you have 10 days after you have a fully accepted offer to do your due diligence for the property you are buying. The Buyer Advisory is split into 5 sections, and today we'll give you a brief overview of what you can expect to find in each of the 5 sections. If you want to read the entire thing on your own, let us know and we'll shoot you over a sample of this document. Section 1 covers common documents a buyer should review. This is a great section because it gives you links to a bunch of sample documents. For example, you could read through the entire standardized purchase contract before ever making an offer on a home. That way, you know exactly what you're committing to. It also walks you through all of the documents you should be reading when purchasing a home, including the MLS printout, the Subdivision Disclosure Report, the Seller's Property Disclosure Statement, the Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions, which is CC&Rs, and so much more. There will be a lot of documents coming at you when you're buying the home, and the Buyer Advisory is great because it highlights which ones of these documents are the most important and why. As they say, knowledge is power when it comes to buying a house, so make sure that you're as informed as you can be. This section of the Buyer Advisory also stresses the importance of home inspections. As a buyer, you should investigate this section as it has really great insight about things you should pay attention to and gives you recommendations about when you should consider bringing in a professional. For example, Section 2 covers common physical conditions in the property a buyer should investigate. Here, the Buyer Advisory tells you that if you're buying a home with a roof that's 10 years of age or older, you may want to consider getting a roof inspection. This section even gives you a website link to where you can find a roof inspector. This section also talks about soil conditions, pests, and fun things like the fact that there's no liability for failing to disclose natural deaths, murders, suicides, or felonies on the property. Ugh, scary, right? It's up to you as the buyer to investigate these things on your own. Section 3 talks about conditions affecting the area surrounding the property that you as a buyer should investigate. This includes researching crime statistics, the existence of electromagnetic fields, the potential for aircraft noise, schools, Superfund sites, and more. This document will bring up all kinds of things that you probably have never even thought of. If you do all of this research, just think how prepared you'll be when it comes to do your due diligence. You're going to be an expert about all of this stuff. But on a serious note, there is a really important and potentially uncomfortable part of this section, and it's the section about the presence of sex offenders in the vicinity of a property. This is not something that the home sellers or real estate agents are required to disclose, so that's why this document is perfect, because you can go to the website link noted in the buyer advisory, enter the address of the property you want to buy, and find out if there are any sex offenders in the area. You can also find out the nature of their crime. We cannot stress the importance of this enough, especially if you have kids or plan to have kids. Section 4 notes other methods to getting information about the property. This section is a really light section, but it does encourage you to talk to the neighbors, drive around the neighborhood, and use things like Google Earth to get a sense of your surroundings. Last but not least is Section 5, which is resources. This section talks about the cyclical nature of the real estate market, fair housing and disability laws, and the risk of fraud in a real estate transaction. Since fraud is becoming more frequent, we really suggest that you read up on this section. The last part of this document is the buyer acknowledgement, and what this means is that on the last page of the buyer advisory, you will need to sign it acknowledging that you received it and that you will put it to good use. Don't forget to read this document and make use of the wealth of knowledge that's in it. That way, you are a savvy and well-informed buyer when you go to make an offer on a home. So, do you want me to email you this document so you can check it out and do some detective work? Just let me know. If you're thinking about moving to the Prescott area, we can help you get to know the place we call home. Just go to our website and click on Find Your Home. If you're thinking about selling, go to our website, PrescottRealEstateAndLiving.com, and get your home's approximate value by clicking on Sell Your Home near the middle of the page. We appreciate when you like and subscribe to our channel because it helps others find this information. We post videos every week to help you get familiar with everything the Prescott area has to offer. Check the description below for our contact information and to request buyer and seller guides or a relocation package. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.